liberty, and justice for all.
All things we say, think, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Mr. Wayne. Wayne in here yet?
Sam Rummel is here today. Cynthia, who might take the place of Tony.
Could y'all hear that? Cynthia Dumeyer is here for Tony, and she's Tony's proxy today.
Aaron Daniel is a guest of Chuck Langford.
I think you all met here a few times. Okay, we'll get to talk to him.
And Mike Bowers is a guest of David Graves.
Sam Hummel just wandered in as well.
Sam Hummel's here.
It's our godfather. All righty. Happy birthday anniversary.
Happy birthday. Yep, I'm waking up. All right. We don't have any birthdays, we don't have any member anniversaries, but we have some wedding anniversaries to celebrate this week. Linda and James Peatland will be celebrating their anniversary on the 4th of May.
All right.
As will Susan and Ron Midget. They will be celebrating their 27th, 28th anniversary. And on May 5th, Deborah and David Lillard will be celebrating their 12th anniversary.
All right. All right, thank you, Dale. Announcements. I'll make the first one. Kelly Harrell wanted me to remind everybody about the district conference, and more importantly, the package that he's putting in a big basket for us to choose from. Now, right now it's going to be me, Mike, Chip, and him. And he says us three. One of us three are going to win a trip to Grand Island. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, this is
So
fantastic.
let's keep it. It is Memorial Day. It's it's kind of an odd weekend, but if you're not doing anything on Memorial Day, why would you not get a power? So please keep that in mind. Other announcements. Walt, you're last. Is that it? All right. Well, Walt. Wherever Walt is, he's still collecting money. Walt.
Come in here and berate us. He ran away.
That knows how bad we're doing.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
That's right. Hey guys, I want y'all to know I'm wearing my money socks today. James is collecting money out in the hall in case you didn't notice or you didn't get straight armed on the way in. We're doing better. Chip has promised me many times it'll come together in the last 2 weeks. And until then, you'll be pulling your hair out. You can tell, haven't slept now, and I don't know. It's been a while, but at any rate, sponsorships are coming through. You guys are doing much better. Got a happy dollar. We need a happy hour. I've got a happy dollar right now for James Peter. Came through with the big platinum sponsorship. Give that to him later on. If you have extra event tickets that you're not going to use, please turn them in to me. I'm going to put in a final order with Katie at the ballpark to order some more because we're out. If you're waiting on a sponsorship package and you're a member of this club, you're going to get it at the last minute because they're going out to all the outside people first. What am I forgetting, Chip?
Doing well, doing well. Bring in unused tickets.
Bring in unused tickets, let me have them back. Turn your raffle tickets. You can turn your raffle tickets the day of, and you can pick up your wristbands and all that kind of stuff the day of also at the event. Rusty, where are you? Rusty's bringing over 100 people to the event.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah. Look at that deal. Another happy dollar. I'm going to be out of dollars soon, but like we're all going to be.
Well, I got one thing.
Yep.
You
Anybody know what that is?
Yep.
So the new iPhone 7 and 8s don't have a place for this. I need about 3 of these for the event. I have one.
What is that?
So this will allow us to take charge grabs at the door, which is a really big stuff. If you got an iPhone 7 or 8 and it's got a headphone thing, if you flip it over, this is probably on the back of the little box. Tony, you're gonna look for one, right? If anybody could bring one
I've got one.
next week, that would be great. So we can get ready for the event.
That's it.
Keep selling though, right?
Keep selling, guys. Final push. You won't have to hear from me again for a long time.
Good job, folks. You're doing a great job. All right, we have some inductions today. Riley, I'll tell you what, let me do happy family feud, and then let you eat your eggs, and then we can get to it. All right. Rotary feud here. This looks like a nice table. Dan?
What is the matter with you?
I don't know. You look at me. Hey, Brock. We'll have Bob and Dan here. All right. The question is, this is the quick
I don't
one.
want to play this game
Only
anymore.
2 more months, fellas. Trust that. Hey, neither do I. All right. Name a common phrase for a backseat driver to say. Oh. Would you like to pass turn it? There's 5 possibilities.
We're gonna pass.
Number 1 answer. Ding, ding, ding. Name a common phrase for a backseat driver.
We can't hear you back.
What is?
That's not what it is. What?
What they say?
Hurry up.
We can't hear.
Ding, ding, ding. Hurry, he said hurry up.
Do it over. We can't hear.
That's number 5.
Wow, the backseat driver going on up there.
I'll give it to you. Turn here, so I'll give that to you. Number 4 answer. 2 left.
Pull it for you,
Quit
Dan.
texting, Mom.
You're going the wrong way.
Dale? Two answers left. All right, slow down. It's number 1. Turn here was number 4, and hurry up was number 5.
Oh, there you go.
Number 2 was stop. Nobody said stop. And number 3 was watch out. And that's 7 more times we got to
Well, how much longer are you going to before Jim can be in charge?
We'll play a different game.
Are you doing it?
Hey, Rob. Please come forward, if you would. With Brian.
Brian right there.
Brian? Chris Jackson's not here today.
We'd also like to invite the sponsors of our new members here to come up as well. All right, Chip. The proud sponsor. This week.
Anybody want to claim, Brian? Anybody? I'll be a sponsor.
All right. This week marks the 27th year since the founding and chartering of Gate City Rotary. A time, by the way, at which our own Crescent guest, Sam Hummel, played a vital role and part, and we are so pleased to have him with us once again.
Let me just say that it is a joy to be here this morning, and also to see that you guys are still top in attendance. You're not 89% attendance when the district is 66 on average. I mean, 89%. That's a really strong club that really wants to be here. That's very exciting, and also all the different things you do on your party coming up. I put that on the internet this morning, and got a big thing coming up. And hopefully, if I'm in town, I'm going to come back and see you on next week. So, appreciate it.
Excellent.
Do y'all know that Sam is leaving? Sam is moving to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So we're going to be missing Sam.
To be with his daughter and son-in-law,
Be with
which
his
we miss very
grandchildren.
much.
That's
So,
correct. Yeah.
You want to have a 7-year-old, 5-year-old down there. Just kind of say it up here, we got to change. But if it's 13 or 14, we'd still be here.
I got a 2-year-old with 6 months there. Charles, that's about right.
All right, thank you, Sam. At this time, I would invite our sponsors here to say a few brief remarks about our, I won't say new members, gleefully returning members here. So,
Yeah, we're very
President Rao.
fortunate to, 2 of the members, we didn't retain them at the time they were here, but they came back to us. So Brian's one of them, and glad to have Brian. Brian had a lot of business going on at the time, didn't have enough time to make the meetings, and we're just glad to have you back, Brian.
Chip.
Well, everybody here probably knows Bob Haybrock from way back, and we swapped him for his wife, and then we swapped her back for Bob, is all I can say. In the meantime, he's moved his business and got a pilot's license, so what the heck. Welcome back, Bob. We're just glad to have you. Thanks for coming back.
All righty. Well, it is certainly our pleasure this morning to welcome once again Bob and Brian to us. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and our members, we sincerely welcome you here. And our welcome is not only in anticipation of the good fellowship we'll share with you here on Thursday mornings and during social outings. We welcome you for your strong arms and sturdy back, which will help us carry out many service projects, which in a small yet significant way make our community, our country, and our world a better place for all to live. For all here, Rotarians and non-Rotarian alike, let's be reminded of these important facts. First, Rotary is not a political organization, but all Rotarians are vitally concerned with everything pertaining to good citizenship and the election of good men and women to public office. Second, Rotary is not a charitable organization, yet its activities exemplify the charity and the sacrifices that one should expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. And third, Rotary is not a religious organization, but it is built on those eternal principles that have served as the moral compass for people throughout the ages, as well as the foundation of our great country. Well, Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to upholding the highest professional standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and international peace can be achieved when business people unite under the banner of service. And so with that in mind, I would like at this time for everyone to please stand as I deliver the following charge. Bob, Brian, you have been chosen once again for membership of the Rotary Club of Gate City. Your sponsor and fellow members believe you to be a leader in your special line of work and that you embody the qualities of head and heart that fit you to interpret and impart the message of Rotary. You are and will be the representative of your vocation to this club. Similarly, at the same time, you now become an ambassador of Rotary, and we will rely on you to carry the principles and ideals of service to those with whom you work. Additionally, we will expect you to help inspire us, your fellow Rotarians, to become better members. And now I ask that you be presented with the distinguishing lapel pins of being a Rotarian. I would ask our sponsoring members to do that. It is our hope that you will wear it proudly for others to see. And also to be included in your membership package, of course, is your official certificate of membership, a declaration of the four-way test, which, as you see, we recite each week as we commence our meetings, to help you to be reminded of what it means to be a Rotarian. And allow me at this time to offer the right hand of fellowship and welcome Bob Brian, welcome back. And let's give him a hand. Mr. President.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Here's your package. Hey, Brian. All right, guys. That being said, I think we're ready for Happy Dollars. Mr. Buster. Oh, I didn't think Buster was going to be here this morning. Glad to have you.
And yet he is.
Great. I've got a couple of happy dollars. One, I'd like to thank Kelly and the Grandover that hosted their spring event last Saturday, and they invited Rotarians to go. And Judy and I were there, and Gail, and there were, you could go do golf or and get instruction in golf with Titleist clubs and ping clubs and all of these great things like that. Judy was inside and heard lots of great things about the home. And the Grandover's been remodeled, and it was just a beautiful experience. So if they do it again next year, it is a wonderful event, and I encourage you all to attend. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna get Jeff here.
Right here,
Give me your tickets.
Chris Justice here?
No.
I had a feeling he wouldn't be.
Media paper.
So, $2 happy dollars. My daughter, who's a freshman that plays for the Grimsley varsity soccer team, scored a goal actually Wednesday, Tuesday in a game. She didn't get a lot of playing time, so that was cool. She scored a goal. And then last night, Grimsley beat Northwest in soccer. Big upset, and Chris knew this was coming probably.
That's the reason Chris wanted to.
Yeah, it was a good game. So.
That's a happy $5.
You might need that back.
I think I'm okay. I was a very lucky person on Saturday. I was driving up to the VAR to watch some car races, and just tooling right along at about 45 miles an hour on Highway 67 north of Yanceyville, and a deer broadsided my car. Fortunately, it didn't hit the front of the car. Otherwise, it would have been a very different story for both the car and myself. So I feel very lucky to be standing here today.
I saw the picture of the car. I thought you were at VI. I misunderstood. I thought you did that at VI.
My wife would have been really upset at that.
Unless you had another happy hour for the Grandover event. It was awesome.
Oh, cool.
So this is a happy dollar that goes out to Jeff Tillman, who hooked me up with some Merle Fest tickets this week. So thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. Forgot about that.
So one of my sons, Sean, he's the second son, he went through a terrible Easter having an appendectomy unexpectedly on a sudden birth. So 8 days later, he had a second laparoscopic, poor guy, because it wasn't all totally cleared out of there. So anyway, but he pushes through. He's at NC State and getting his third year completed, which he graduated high school 2 years ago. So I'm really proud of him, and he's got a job this summer working for an environmental engineering firm, which is major. It's Schnabel. If anybody knows anybody at Schnabel, they're over down off Wendover. I don't know if anybody knows that company, but they've been around for 60 plus years, I guess. But another thing is I can't wait for the party. Everybody that can get there, please bring your friends. Thanks.
Please pray for sunshine this weekend. I'm really excited because I am going to Cedar Mountain with my almost 5-year-old granddaughter for a weekend camp retreat. We will be hiking on Saturday and Sunday, rain or sun. So I'm really excited about that, and this is really for my dad. I took him yesterday for a scan of his brain because he has dementia, and I forced this because I would like to know
genetically what is going on with him, and he can't remember, what he ate 5 minutes ago, but he can still tell me how to drive. Some things never go.
Buster, these are Walt's. I'll turn them in for him and exercise a little pre-president privilege. So Walt would rather have your cash. He'd rather have your cash next week, but if you haven't sold your tickets, bring the tickets. We will recycle them at the gate. But yeah, he'd rather have your cash.
Thank you. We had a little 505 surprise lunch last Friday, and Chris Justice was sitting there, and in walks Robbie Hassel, and we let Robbie have the head of the table, and you have an attorney and a judge sitting there, and we're talking about all this stuff going on, and they're starting to recount cases, and Robbie starts to tell us about this murder trial, okay, and he's going into what happened to the person who got killed. And then we called the plaintiff, the victim, up to the stand. And I'm like, my God, Robbie, if you can do that, who needs a job?
I got a happy 10, Buster. I wanted to thank Ralph and Chris and Dennis for coming out and playing at the COV tournament last weekend. It's a small thing. They got started with a global district grant from Gate City about 7 years ago. For those that don't know, we have 25 young girls. They were in the 6th grade then, they're in the 11th grade now. With this funds and the past funds, we've got enough money to get them through the 2nd year of college right now. So congratulations. And Ralph, long drive, is that right?
Long drive, yeah.
It was a good day. The rest of my money is, I'm sadly going to miss the fundraiser next weekend. My prodigal daughter, Katie, who spent one night at home since Christmas, I've got her locked in my car, and we're going to drive out west to Jackson, and she's going to spend the summer working out there, something like horsepower. So she's still living a pretty good life.
I'm going to kind of do 250 somethings here. I borrowed from Jim. So back to the golf tournament. It was really interesting because I'm a short hitter. I actually played for the red team, but I played with those two guys, Chris and they just kept hitting the ball way up. And I'd go run, get my ball, and get my cart and run up to their ball because they were 75 to 100 yards further than me. So I told them, I said, I feel like I'm at the Masters. I'll just break off to there, and then Jack Nicklaus stands up for the ceremonial drive, and that's what I've been doing all day long. And then there's this name that kept popping up, Walt. Walt's turn. Walt's this. Walt's that. Come on, Walt, hit the ball. And I guess they were referring to you because they said you're a really good golfer, but you were there, but you didn't know it, and you did he make anything?
I have to pop. Walt called me and said, do you need me? I said, no.
That's why we were calling him Walt. I called him while we were driving.
The spot was filled until it wasn't filled.
So it was
We rotated Walt.
Yeah, we rotated Walt. So Walt's name came up all the time, and he did get some good shots.
Well, they didn't need you. They already had their threesome.
I can't respond to that because I called that morning and said, do you need somebody? And they said, no, we've got 3. Actually, they told me that Chris Neal had signed up.
Well, and we had the other Dennis.
And then I saw him Saturday. I saw him Saturday. I was like,
All right, this is going to cost more money.
I did play in the match play championship at my club, and I shot 74 in the first round and lost to a guy that I had to give a couple shots to. But I won the consolation championship, so.
We'll go ahead and put your name on the trophy.
Well, Grandpappy Lewis is under the weather, and Grandpappy Christensen agreed to fill in.
Grandpappy Christensen's in the doghouse. He was sitting in the living room, and Grandmammy came downstairs with a big armful of clothes. She says, I'm going to go take these to charity. He said, oh, just throw that stuff away. Nobody wants those old clothes. Grandmammy said, well, you know, there's probably some starving people in the world that could use these. And Grandpappy said, anybody wear those clothes is not starving.
Well, if we have another round of happy dollars like this, we won't even need a fundraiser. Thank you, Buster. So if you think our speaker looks a little bit familiar today, Michael Ambler, he was here a month ago, and I ambitiously had scheduled our outbound exchange student to come and talk a little, make a few remarks about her experience. And anyway, that turned into a program, and it was a great program. But I looked across the table at Michael, and we had about 4 minutes to go, and he signals, I'll reschedule. So I'm so appreciative. Thank you for your flexibility.
Happy to do it.
Michael's here to tell us a little bit about F3 today. It's a phenomenon. Some of you have done the F3 workouts. I know that, and I can tell who's been doing those, and others have probably read about it in the newspaper and decided that might be a little bit too much for you. By way of introduction, Michael is a 1987 graduate of Elon College, and has spent the last 27 years or so in managing operational groups, small companies, mid-sized, large, even international companies. He returned to Greensboro in 2004, returned to Burlington Industries, where he'd worked before, and by that time had been taken over by ITG, or was owned by ITG. In 2007, he assumed the role of, oh my gosh, Michael.
It's okay. Operations.
Operations. I know some of this stuff too. Yep. He was the EVP of Operations of the North America Automotive Division, and then in 2010 became Chief Operating Officer for the Global Safety Textiles. That lasted for about, you enjoyed yourself for about four or 5 years, and then at that point decided he wanted to become a business owner, and at the end of 2014, he retired or resigned from the company, took a little time off to look around for companies to acquire, and acquired a company called Golf Canopies International.
Cover Shots.
Excuse me, Cover Shots. I'm really struggling this morning. Cover Shots, and that would be a good program. I know Walt would love to hear about Cover Shots because they provide mobile golf canopies to country clubs, driving ranges, and the golf industry. So that several guys would like to ask you about that. But without further ado, please give a warm Rotary welcome to Michael Ambler.
Good morning. Morning. I know I'm on a time slot, so please just somebody throw up a hand when I get there. So my name's Michael Ambler, and I am not a professional speaker. I am not here, let's say, officially out of Charlotte for F3, but I'm happy to speak about this topic. And thank you, Chip. And my good friend Tony Hoymeyer, who I never say Tony Hoymeyer, his name is Windmill to me. You'll get the connection if you think about that. So F3, what is it? I'll get right to it. I won't go too much. I'll tell you just quickly on my background. Chip was mentioning, so for about 4 or 5 years, I was on an airplane, traveling around the country, had achieved my dream job. Thought everything was right. You know, had wife, kids, good quality of life. I was the CEO of a company, and I could go to Europe or Asia or wherever else. And about 3 weeks into that dream job, I started to think, wow, this is going to be a tough road. And then 5 years later, I reached that point in my life where it was fruitful on the outside, and I would introduce myself where people would say, hey, what do you do? And rather than saying what my passion was, which is operations and building things and delivering and servicing and helping people, my answer would be, I'm the CEO of a company. And that became my identity, and didn't really realize it. And so that, along with just a horrendous travel schedule and becoming sort of a shell of the person I wanted to be, led me to that point of saying, okay, my wife, bless her heart, who Cynthia knows very well, I said, I don't think I can take this anymore. And it's hard for me to interview via Skype from Romania or China or Africa. And so I said, I think I need to step away. And she's like, okay, and what does that mean after you step away? Well, I'm not sure. She goes, okay. So we kind of got through that. I found a little business to buy, and I'm just, we talk a lot in F3 in our men's groups about what's a fruitful life, and I'm leading a fruitful life right now, and I'm very grateful for and very blessed. And so that's just a little background on me. F3 came along right after I quit, 2 months after. I hooked up with these guys, and it's changed my life. Not to be too dramatic. So let's go ahead and go. So F3 stands for Fitness Fellowship in Faith. This was started at 1111 in Charlotte. 2 guys. One's an ex-special ops guy who's a lawyer now. The other guy's an IT guy, and they were just looking to work out, just get a good beat down in. And lo and behold, they didn't know what it would become. So go ahead. So the mission of F3 is to plant, serve, and grow workout groups, small workout groups for the invigoration of male community leadership. You wouldn't think that working out creates sort of a leadership environment or an environment where you can exercise and practice leadership. The credo is leave no man behind, but leave no man where you found him, and they certainly didn't leave where they found him. Just a quick overview. There are 5 core principles. Number 1, it's free. There is no charge. If anybody ever showed up to an F3 workout and they say, hey, it's $20 to work out, you're at the wrong F3. I don't know what that F3 stands for. Number 2, it's always outdoors, no matter what. Rain, sleet, shine, 2 degrees, 102 degrees. It's never inside. And that creates, it's hard to understand, but if you're at 9-degree weather, you're all wrapped up and you're all getting the beat down and doing push-ups or I guess we have all of our names, but jumping jacks, whatever. When you look to the guy next to you or to the lady next to you, which there's an equivalent called FIA, by the way, Females in Action, which we say Cynthia, but red light. We all have nicknames, by the way. Mine is Sacked. We get that. It's designed to create a little humility. Don't take yourself too seriously. Somebody knew I was a small college quarterback, very slow, probably number 7 on the depth chart. If they even went that low on the depth chart. Somebody knew it, and so they were tossing around, okay, so you're going to be a kicker, punter, and those were horrible things for a quarterback. And then they named me Sack. So red light right there, Cynthia. But FIA is Females in Action, so I just wanted to mention that. So the core principles. Free, it's open to all men. F3 is men, FIA is women. When we say all men, we mean regardless of religion, regardless of whatever. It's open to all men and their sons. It's outdoors, and it's always led by us, non-professionals. It's peer led. We go through a Q school. Q is the leader of a workout. You learn cadence, you learn count. It's pretty disciplined in how we do it. We get there, we knock it out, but it's organized. Nobody shows up to an F3 workout and, hey, what do you want to do today? That's not it. We start on time, we get after it. The Q is responsible for leading it, and then it respects people's time. Gets you in and out. And the last thing is it ends with a circle of trust, and I'll explain that a little later. Fitness, fellowship, faith. Won't go through it too much, but we think through fitness, it's the first thing. Let's go to the next slides, and I'll walk through it. Where we do them, they're always outside. Ideal spots for us are public parks, schools, believe it or not, churches, some of the big land plots for churches, playgrounds, and we typically do them here 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 to 6:15, on Saturdays 7 to 8 a.m. Who's in charge? We already talked about that. The Qs. We do have a Q board. We've gotten big enough. We've had over 1,000 guys in Greensboro Post, probably on a consistent basis, 300 plus show up for workouts during the week. So it's really growing. By the way, we'll talk about there's a big connection and correlation to what you do in Rotary, and that's that we're in service to others. We do a lot of service projects, and we're becoming a force in that. Please go ahead. So what's the big thing that these guys found out kind of by accident when they started the workout? And they've written a book. It's called Free to Lead. It's a great book, and it's kind of like the setting chapter for all of us to read, get an idea of the history. But SAG clown syndrome. I explained a little bit about my history. I was the classic SAG clown, and that was I was on a plane. I'd get on a plane Monday, heading somewhere, and I'd see about 10, 12 other people just like me, kind of numb, sitting in the seats, picking up the latest book you got to read or listening to something on tape. But a SAG clown essentially is, and for men, it's a pretty significant problem, and that is that we are, and that comes from The Sopranos, by the way, where you're crying, you're laughing on the outside, but you're crying on the inside. There's a facade, there is a window dressing. I'm the COO, but inside it's kind of like getting empty, becoming a shell, non-fruitful. And that's the whole thing these guys kind of locked into was, look, there's a lot of men out there making their way through society that are caught in this sad clown syndrome. And I was definitely in that mark. Now, I wouldn't have said that to you 3 years ago. I wouldn't have had the confidence, the vulnerability, whatever that is to say, I was to say, before I'm the man and I'm, let's get after it and so forth. I'm a warrior, that type of thing. False front, they were lived behind. And they had three things they could compartmentalize to. Pogo 40, basically what that is that's that 40 pounds that you go up and down. I'm going to join a gym, I'm going to go on a diet. By the way, nothing wrong with joining the gym, we don't say that, but men, and I was guilty of that as well, easy when you're traveling, easy when you're doing just pick up a steak, glass of wine, drink some beers, do whatever. There's nothing wrong with that either. I like to do that occasionally, but in moderation. But that inconsistent workout schedule without accountability or somebody beside you to keep you going and keep you rolling, or something to have fun with. Next was the sifter. This is probably the most important part to me that I never really thought about. That is, if you put flour, Grandma used to bake, you put flour in the sifter and shake it out. All that's left are a few hard-baked particles. What they mean with the sifter at this point is that your true friendships, and I never thought about authentic male relationships, which is something we don't talk about, a little awkward, right? Male relationships. So when you go through the sifter for the sad clown, he's got pretty much nothing left in there. True strength, authentic relationships, where you actually count on that guy next to you or that man. Or Chip was telling me, he's a buddy of ours, his three name is Maneater, that's all I know about, but they meet once a week, or I don't know if it's once a week, one-on-one, and I would never thought to do that 3 years ago. They go through scripture, Bible, books, whatever. What are we dealing with, man? What's your problems? What you got going on? That's that sifter. What do you got left when you shake it all out? Do you have one or two true, authentic relationships with other men, or do you have a whole full? And mine is filling up for sure. Last thing is Reacher, the Reacher novels. Jack Reacher, this is about 18 novels. He's a West Point guy, 6'5", served overseas, came back. He has no purpose in life other than to maybe wash his clothes every other day, wear the same clothes every day. He drifts around the country and all that good stuff. There's a lot of men that I used to ride with on those planes, including myself, that was kind of like that Reacher character. Kind of just drifting. What is our purpose? It certainly wasn't to serve. My purpose was to make money, dive on the cross, be a martyr, make sure my wife, kids had this comfortable life, and we had this picture that we wanted people to see, which is pretty shallow. Okay, go ahead. First is fitness. That's the magnet. We're going to keep rolling through this because we're on time. The magnet, that just draws people in. Our workouts, we have over 31 different workouts here now in Greensboro. Every workout, if there's a shovel flag, we name them. We're guys, so we like names. This is the one, I lead a workout. This one's called Big Country, and we take this to the mountains every year. We do a big camp hike trip, and we go all over Grandfather Mountain, and we push the physical side, but we also have fun with the flags. We do honor the flag, and the flag for us is pride of country and people who serve. And we recognize it in every workout. So if you ever see a flag in the park at 5:30 in the morning, that's an F3 workout. I won't go through all of it. Average size, we say packs, that's the number. And Jeff, by the way, can probably walk through a lot of this because he's done it as well. And then valet, raise your hand, valet.
Then Mike Slane.
Who else we got? What's your F3 name, Mike?
Renaissance.
Renaissance, of course. Poncherello. Poncherello, I love it.
Shucker. I'm Shucker.
Shucker.
So-so.
I love it. I just named a guy who was a Q at a workout. It's called Fence Line. Some of you guys may have heard of it. And this guy comes up and he goes, this is the fun part, by the way, but he's a young guy and he goes, yeah, I just went to Italy for the first time. I love it. I think what I want to do now in life is travel. And we're all thinking, so we go through it. His name is Arrivederci. So he's like, you don't want to come in there too excited about what you've been doing. These guys can tell you. So the workouts are 45 minutes to an hour. They start on time, they end on time. Very disciplined. And your first workout, you're an FNG. It stands for Friendly New Guy. After that, we'll get circle stretching. You get your name. You tell us a little bit about yourself. But the guys, when you EH somebody, we say emotional headlock. Never fail. Some guy's going to wear his Duke sweatshirt, to the first workout. And he's going to be called Dean or some Tar Heel or Ramsey or something. Let's keep going. I'm getting tight on time. So anyway, we'll roll through these. There's some of our pictures of what we do working out, keep going. This was a big event. We had almost 100 guys in Country Park last year celebrating the year here. Keep going. That was 9 degrees circle time. There's the big Elon represented in the middle. Pocahontas, he was here last time. But you know, you can name all those guys. Tips, Bulldog, Everest. You know, so keep going. Just another workout. That was a 36-degreer. It was raining. Let's see. Here's windmill. That's jumping right there. Keep going. You can just keep on rolling through. The funny thing about this one was, this was a workout that I cued at Country Park, and if you look, the two Dutch guys are actually holding the U.S. flag, so we like that. The cot, this is probably the most important part for us. This is circle of trust. Every workout ends with one. We all get together. We call it a ball of men. Put your hands on each other. The cue has the choice on how he wants to close out. If you want to do it for me, I'll do it with a prayer. That's what's close to me. That's what means the most. Usually bless these guys, but somebody can give thanks. Whether you're Jewish, Muslim, and we don't have a lot of other religions, but we need to expand on that and make sure we do. But that's the most critical part for us, where we get together, put hands on each other, and finish it out. Keep going. Just some more pictures of things we do. The blue is the fellowship sign. I'm going to have to really roll through this pretty quickly. That's for us what we call sticky relationships. That's where the authentic relationships are built. We do lots of book discussions, Bible studies, all the stuff outside of the workouts. To me, the most important part. Keep going. These are like camp hike trips. You got some of the young boys. Keep going. We'll just roll through the pictures. Okay, so this is every day of the week except for Sunday. We have a workout. We do have a workout now on Sunday, early Sunday morning, but we'll meet groups, small groups, Panera's, Starbucks, Screen Joe's, whatever, go through books, have open discussions. Chip, you guys are way ahead of us, like the one-on-one type discussions where we form those bonds. And we start to realize that we're kind of all dealing with stuff in life, we just never talked about it. Last thing is faith. We say faith, but in this term it means I am third, which is what you all certainly symbolize, and that means we're in service to others, not to myself. We get back, just keep going, we'll go through it. We do a ton of service projects now, just about every weekend we're helping out in the community. We keep going. Project Rebuild as Community Housing Solutions. We were on a house last weekend, helping with horsepower, take apart a barn, with a school, local school. Crosswalk, Tommy Boy, Corey Phillips wasn't in here, but this guy is an amazing guy. He organized a crosswalk for Good Friday from 4:30 in the morning to 6:30. We rucked around Greensboro, carried 3 large crosses, and at each stop there was a little bit of a lesson from the pastor that was with us. So we had 67 folks do that. And that's just a bunch of the service projects we do. Keep going. Shenanigans, we actually have our own newsletter now we put out. It tells you who's queuing, what we're doing. You keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Top 5 excuses. Just go ahead and hit the button. I need to get in shape before I come out. Number 2. Yeah, just keep it. I already belong to a gym. That's way too early in the morning to get up and work out. I'm already working out with a personal trainer. And last one, sounds like some sort of cold. We always say, hey, we're cold, we're a pretty good one, but we're not cold. So you can keep going. And you can follow us. We're pretty organized. Go to our Facebook page, Twitter. You can look it up at F3Nation.com. Tells you all about it. And I think I'm probably over my time now. So thank you very much. I'm happy to take a question, but I think I'm at the end.
I'm asking for a friend. What's the oldest y'all take?
I'm asking for a friend all the time. So we have guys from 7-year-old to 76-year-old.
76.
Yeah, we have.
Also, it looks to me like all
room for you, John.
Looks to me like all the good names already taken.
No, we got Christmas. Tony's what, 66, 67, and he'll outrun us all.
Wow. Mike, yeah, I know you're concerned about doing the right thing for everybody. So when somebody comes in and they've got like an issue right now, and I'd like to be able to run. I got some plantar fasciitis. What do y'all do to modify it?
Great question. So we start every workout with the cue says, by the way, anything that we say to do is only suggested. You need to modify it's you versus you. Do not hurt yourself. We also put in 3 workouts during the week that are dumbbell weights only and no running. So we have some no running workouts, we have some running only workouts, and then some mixtures. But the true sense of it is not the workout, it's getting men in and then let's fellowship together. And we never leave a guy behind, so that's called covering the 6. We always make sure.
I was behind quite a bit with myself and my brother-in-law.
Yeah, I think we're all start. That's kind of the way, we do this thing called sun gouge and warm up. You just do your arms like we do the count and so forth. Well, the first time my arms kept dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. You may know what I'm talking about. Push-ups, I could do about 12 when I started. Yeah, we can bang out 100 now if you want to, but it's all about you starting at a point and then you get consistent and you're we accommodate anyone. Good question. Great question. Sorry, Chip.
All good.
Can you, real quick, can you give a couple of the, you name push-ups, different things, and just go through 2 or 3 big ones that y'all do?
We have our own lexicon. If you look it up, we don't speak like a jumping jack's called sash rattle hop. We do
Merkins.
Yeah, we do Merkins, which is push-up. We push regular push-ups. We do diamond Merkins. We do workins, which is wide Merkins, which is wide push-ups. So that's part of the fun too. What we do.
What about the burpees?
We do burpees, and I hate burpees. I got
Mountain climbers, I like.
What is a burpee?
Yeah.
A burpee is you just jump down on the ground, kick your feet out, bring it back in, and jump up. It's actually more on cardio than it is on strength. So, we just call that a burpee. we all little baby crunches, LBCs is what we call little baby crunches. We do crunches stuff. We have crab cakes where you're on your, like a table plank and you're touching your legs. So we have all kinds of fun names, but I mean, the names of our guys, like one of our leaders, his name is Butt Fumble. You see him in the grocery store, hey, Butt Fumble. He's a big New York Jets fan, so if you remember Mark Sanchez and the Butt Fumble, he gets up there and he wears his Jets jersey in. It's the worst thing you can do to a workout. Your name is Butt Fumble. But he's one of our leaders. Sorry. You're good. Was that good, Jeff?
Yes.